on the Tzadik Vav Amud Beis on the bottom of the Yamud. Yeah, Zok the Gemara. So yesterday we began speaking about the Mekaysh Sheitzim in the Midbars. He was gathering wood, or there was a machlokes here exactly what his malacha was that he was chayiv misa for. Taner Rabbana Mekaysh, who is this Mekaysh? Zeh Tzalafchad. The Mekaysh was Tzalafchad. Later, of course, it's brought about Tzalafchad, that is, he had only daughters. V'cheinu Oimer, Vayib Bnei Yisrael B'Midbar Vayimtzu Ish V'Goymer. The Yidden were in the Midbar, and there was a person that was Mekaysh Sheitzim. And later it says, Avinu Meis B'Midbar, our father passed away B'Midbar, using the same term of Midbar. Mala Alon Tzlafchad, just like the first time, this Ish B'Midbar is Tzlafchad, Afkan Tzlafchad. Here as well, it's Tzlafchad. Divrei Rabbi Akiva. This is what Rabbi Akiva said. Amal Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, so Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira responded to him as follows: Akiva, benkach u benkach at osad liten asadin. Either way, you are going to have to be judged for what you said here. If what you said is true, that this is actually tzlavchad, the Torah conceals his identity, and you're revealing who it is. And if it's not tzlavchad, so then you're speaking bad about this person, tzlavchad, that may have been a tzaddik, was a tzaddik, and he wasn't a mekayshish. That was his taina on Rabbi Akiva. Fragt the Gemara, but ve'ela hagama gzeira shava. He learned the gzeira shava. So Rashi explains the question of the Gemara is, a gzeira shava is not something that a person makes up on its own. It's a Kabbalah, and it says it. So you see the pasuk is making this thing, and the pasuk is revealing it. It's not really concealed in the pasuk. And for the Gemara, gzeira shava legama. Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira did not have the tradition of this gzeira shava. And as Taisus here explains, in an interesting klal, benegayat to Gzeira Shabbos, negayat to all over in Gemara, he says, so why didn't he learn this Gzeira Shabbos from Rabbi Akiva? If he didn't hear it from his Rebbe, he can hear it now from Rabbi Akiva. So Taisus, because they had a certain Kabbalah of how many Gzeira Shabbos there are. And he had a Kabbalah and a number of Gzeira Shabbos, and this one was one more. So therefore he had a Kabbalah that this is not part of the Gzeira Shabbos. And not only he didn't learn it, according to the number he had befedish had a Kabbalah that this is not a Gzeira Shabbos. Yeah. Elo meheichahava. So according to Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, who was he? Vayapilu. He was from the people that it says Vayapilu after the story of the Meraglim. So there were those that went. They were determined to go to Eretz Yisrael. Vayapilu, and they were all killed. And he was one of those people. A similar conversation, a similar argument between Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira. The Eibishter was angry at Aaron and Miriam when they said Lashon Hara on Moshe Rabbeinu. It's in this week's parsha, Melamed she'af Aaron etztara. So it says the Lashon Bam, plural term, refers to both of them. So not only was Miriam a Mitziras, where it says clearly that she was, but Aaron also became a Mitzirah. Divrei Rabbi Akiva. That's Rabbi Akiva Taish just pasuk. Oh, Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, Akiva ben kacha tosad litn esadin. You're going to be judged for saying this. If you're right, the Torah conceals the fact that Adam was a mitzayra and you're revealing it. So why did you say this? The Elo, but the Gemara says, but haksiv bam. It says a plural term, and that's where he took it from. So it's pretty clear in the pasuk itself. He's not revealing it. And for the Gemara, who ben ezife ba'alma. Bam doesn't necessarily mean that he was a mitzayre, ben ezife, that the Eibusha sort of separated him, the Eibusha censored him. It doesn't mean that he was a mitzayre necessarily. Tan yikamandama Aaron etztara. We learned, like what Rabbi Akiva said, that Aaron was a mitzayre. The chsiv vayifen Aaron el Miriam, and Aaron turned towards Miriam to daven for her, or not to daven for her. He turned towards her, v'hine mitzayras, and he noticed that she was a mitzayras. So Tane, we learned in Abraise, Shepono mitzarato. The expression of vayifen, what was he turning from? He was turning from his own pain. He himself was a mitzayra, and he was turning to his sister, and he saw that she was also a mitzayras. Amar Reish Lakish, on the same theme, Reish Lakish said, Achayshid b'ksheirem loike begufay. A person that's chayshid, somebody that suspects somebody that's really kosher, so he ends up himself getting afflicted in his body. The chsiv, the pasuk says, V'hein lo yaminu li v'goymer. That the Eibusha says about Moshe and Aaron, and on Moshe, we're going to talk about Moshe here, that they did not trust me. By the story of the main Meriva, when they hit the rock and they didn't speak to the rock, so it says, V'hein lo yaminu li. Oh, sorry, I jumped ahead. Yeah, sorry about that. I jumped ahead. The Heinle Aminuli refers to the fact that Moshe Rabbeinu said to the Eibishter when he wanted him to go out of Mitzrayim, take Yidden out of Mitzrayim. So Moshe Rabbeinu says to the Eibishter, "V'hein the Yidden lo yaminuli." They're not going to believe me. So Moshe Rabbeinu was choshed the Yidden that ended up believing him. The Gal Yekame Kodshe it's revealed to the Eibishter, the Mehemni Yisrael, that Yidden will believe. Amalai, so the Eibishter says to Moshe Rabbeinu, Hein maminim b'nei maminim. They, the Yidden, are maminim b'nei maminim. And v'ata, you, ein soif chalahamin. You, in the end, will not believe. Hein maminim, the Yidden are believers, d'chsiv ayamin am. And the Yidden believed when Moshe Rabbeinu spoke to them. B'nei maminim, the descendants of believers, because it says, v'hemen b'Hashem, that he believed in the Eibishter regarding Avraham Avinu. And Ato, and you, Moshe Rabbeinu, ein soif chalahamin. In the end, you will not believe. Shenemar, as it says, Yan lo yamantim bi, because you did not believe in me, which is by the story of Mei Meriva, that they didn't believe in the Eibishter, and that's why they weren't zeicha to go into Eretz Yisrael. Mimai delaka. So where do we see that Moshe Rabbeinu was punished in it? Like it said before, loike begufay. The pasuk says, Vayemer Hashem loy oid havana yotcha b'chikecha. Put your hand into your bosom, and he took out his hand, and he was a mitzayre keshelek. His hands were white.
What's Yan lo yamantem?
It also refers to Aaron HaKohen. So over here, the Gemara doesn't explain regarding Aaron, but it explains regarding Moshe. Omer Rabbi Vitayim Rabbi Yosef Bar Chanina Merube Midet Toive Memaheres Love Mimides Peronis. The Eibishter's kindness, Midet Toive, comes quicker than a punishment. The Mides Peronis Ksiv over here in this pasuk, when it describes when he became a mitzayre, what does the pasuk say? Vayetzia, he removed his hand from his bosom. V'hine yodem mitzaras kashelek, and his hand was white like snow. So it says Vayetzia, when he took his hand out, that's when he became a mitzayre. V'ilo b'midet toive ksiv, regarding midet toive, the pasuk adds a word. Vayetzia mecheikai, he took it out of his cheik, from his bosom. V'hine shavak kipsarai, and it came back to healthy skin. Mecheikai hu deshava kipsare. The pasuk is adding the word mecheikai to say that when he put his hand inside his cheik, it already became healed even before he took it out. So you see that the midat teva comes back quicker. Sorry, I just went back up. Vayivla mat Aaron's mataisam, and Aaron's staff swallowed the other staffs that were there after he threw down the staff to the ground, and it turned into a snake. And then after Aaron HaKohen picked back up his staff, and it turned back into a staff and not a snake, then it swallowed all the other ones. Amar Rabbi Lazar, says Rabbi Lazar, nes b'teich nes. What happened over here is a double nes. So what's the double nes? Rashi says, la'acha shechaza v'nasa mata balon v'loiku shutanad leksiv v'yivla tanan aren. So it's not 100% clear in the lashon of Rashi what's the double nes, so there's a lot of pirushim in this. The Rebbe brings this in a sikh in Chelik Chavav in Parshas Va'era. One pshat is that the double nes is the very fact that it became back into a stick and not a snake, that's a nes, and the fact that it swallowed is a nes. Another double nes is, the Marsha says, the double nes is that one snake swallowing so many other snakes in itself is a nes. The fact that it wasn't one snake that swallowed other snakes, it was a stick that swallowed the other sticks is even a greater nes. That's the second nes. Then the Marsha says another pshat that the nes is that even after his stick swallowed the other sticks, it didn't blow up, it didn't grow in size by swallowing everything else. It remained the same size as it was before. That was a double nes. The Rebbe in the Sikha there in the end says in Meire de Gehira, Avedis Hashem, it's not in the Pashta Pshat, but in Drush, the Rebbe says that sometimes it's necessary in Chinuch, or in certain situations that you have to be harsh to somebody else, you have to give musr or swallow, so to speak, somebody else. But it has to be done by Ifin Kazeh, that two things the Rebbe says. Number one, it should be not as a snake, as a stick. A snake is doing it with anger and feelings and venom. A stick is just the action. Sometimes the action of rebuking is necessary, but it should be done as a stick, not as a snake. And number two, the Rebbe says, when you're rebuking somebody else, don't become fat from it. Don't feel good about yourself that, I'm the person that with a condescending attitude is giving mussar to somebody else. You should remain the same humble man as you were before. Sagt die Gemara weiter. It said in the Mishnah, the first case in the Mishnah, carrying from one Rishus HaYachid to another Rishus HaYachid through the Rishus HaRabim. So it actually wasn't talking about carrying, it was talking about throwing from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaYachid through a Rishus HaRabim. So it's a machlokes, Rabbi Akiva and the Chachamim, if you chayev a potter. So the Gemara is going to bring two interpretations to this machlokes. This Gemara we're learning here now, we actually had it Bekitzer before in Daf Daled Amud Beis. Amar Rava v'teimer Rav Yosef bar Chanina. Sorry, again I went up. Boy Rava. So Rava asked the question. Lamata ma'asara pligi is the machlokes between Rabbi Akiva and the Chachamim when the item is being thrown through the Rishus Harabim below 10 Tvachim. So of course we know what's the difference between below 10 Tvachim or above 10 Tvachim. Below 10 Tvachim is part of the Rishus Harabim. Above 10 Tvachim is a Makim Ptur. It's not part of the Rishus Harabim. But here's the thing, in the Mishkan, when they actually carried the Kroshim from one wagon to another wagon, it was done above 10 Tvachim. Okay, so the Mishkan, the Gemara, the Mishnah brought that as a source for transferring from one Rishus HaYachid to another Rishus HaYachid through the Rishus Harabim. So over there, keep in mind, it was done specifically above 10 Tvachim. So now, how are we going to explain the Machlokes here? Are we going to say Lamata Masara Pligi, the Machlokes is when it was thrown below 10 Tvachim, Ubaha Pligi. And this is the basis of their Machlokes. The Marsava, Rabbi Akiva holds, Amrinon, Kluta, Kemi, Shohuncha. When something is contained in a Rishos, even while it's flying, it's as if it's there. It's as if it landed permanently in that Rishos. And therefore, even though it only passed through the Rishus Harabim, it's as if it landed in the Rishus Harabim, and Yechayev for taking from the Rishus HaYachid to the Rishus Harabim. Omar Savar, but the Chachamim say, Lo yamrinan kluta kemishahuncha. No, we do not say this concept. And therefore, you're just passing through. You weren't mitzi from Rishus HaYachid to the Rishus Harabim. It's landing in another Rishus HaYachid. But if it passed through the Rishus Harabim above 10 Tvachim, Divrei HaKol Potter. Everybody would agree that you're Potter. Why? You had a similar thing done in the Mishkan. When they transferred the Kroshim from one Agola, from one wagon to the other wagon, it was through the Rishus Harabim. So why shouldn't he be chayiv over here as well, above 10 Tvachim, that it passes through the Rishus Harabim? No, the reason is because v'lo yalfinon zayrik mimayshet. We cannot compare throwing to handing over. By the Kroshim, they handed over the Kroshim through the Rishus Harabim. They didn't throw them, as we learned yesterday. So therefore, we don't compare throwing to handing over. This is one shot. So everybody would agree, above 10 Tvachim, you'd be Potter. Or maybe we could say the opposite.
If you're being Moisheted, there's more of a svara that should be Huncha, no?
Labdafke. Maybe if I cared, because if it's in your hand interrupts, it makes a hefsek between the Rishus Harabim. Taisus speaks about it on Daf Daled Amud Aleph. Towards the bottom of the Amud, you can look in Taisus, he addresses that. Zog the Gemara, or we could say the opposite. That maybe they are arguing when he threw the item through the Rishus Harabim above 10 Tvachim, ubaha pligi. And this is the argument. Mar Savar Rabbi Akiva says, Yalfinon Zayrik mi Moishit. Just like Moishit was in the Mishkan and Yechayev for passing through the Rishus Harabim, we compare and learn Zayrik from there as well. Mar Savar and the Chachamim say, no, Lo Yalfinon Zayrik mi Moishit. We don't compare the two. Only the way it was done specifically in the Mishkan Yechayev for, but not when you throw it. Aval lamata miyud, but if it was below 10 Tvachim and you're going through the Rishus Harabim, over there, maybe even the Chacham would agree Chayiv, because everybody would hold to the concept Kluta Kamishoncha, that it's absorbed, it's contained in the Rishus Harabim, and it's as if it landed there. My time, the Kluta Kamishoncha damya. That's the Shaila. So where's the Machlokes? Above 10 Tvachim or below 10 Tvachim? Rav Yosef, Hamilsi, Boyle, Rav Chisda. Rav Chisda had the same question. Rav Amnuna answered him the question from the following Braise. It says in the Braise as follows: Rishus HaYachid or Rishus HaYachid, from one Rishus HaYachid to another Rishus HaYachid, v'oiver b'Rishus Harabim atzma, and it's passing through the Rishus Harabim itself. Sorry, Rabbi Akiva mechayev. Rabbi Akiva says Yechayev, Chachamim paitrim, and Chachamim say Yepotter. So this Braise uses a different terminology. Midika Omar. Since the Braise says Bir Rishus Harabim atzma, that it passed through in the Rishus Harabim itself, so Pshita Lamata Masara Pligi. So in this Braise, it's clear that the Machlokes between Rabbi Akiva and the Chachamim is below 10 Tvachim in the Rishus Harabim. But now the Gemara is going to focus on another word that it says in this Braise that it's different than the Mishnah. It doesn't say Zayrik. In this Braise, what does it say? Oiver. What is the meaning of oiver? Ubemai. So what case is it talking about? If you're going to say that the word oiver means a take, you're walking through. You're walking through the Rishus Harabim, going to another Rishus HaYachid. So you can't say that. If when you walk through the Rishus Harabim, Only if you're holding the item below 10 tefachim, then you would be chayev. L'mayla miyod loy mechayev. But if you're holding the item in your hands above 10 tefachim while you're walking through, you would not be chayev. That's not true. We learned this already before. V'amar Rabbi Lazar. Rabbi Lazar said, "Hamoitzi masoy l'mayla masada." If you take out a package into the Rishus Harabim, even if you are holding it in your hands above asada, chayev. You're chayiv shekain masa b'nei kahas. This is the way the b'nei kahas carried, as we learned before. They held the orain or the mizbeach on their shoulders above 10 tefachim. So if you're actually walking and your feet are on the ground, you're chayiv even if it's above 10 tefachim. So why does this brayse say b'rishus harabim atzma, which is mashma that it's dafka if you were holding it below 10 tefachim? El alav, we're going to have to say that even though it says in the brayse the lashon of oiver, it doesn't mean that you're maver, that you were walking with it. What it means is bezayrik. He threw it through the Rishus Harabim. Ulamato masara hu de mechayev, and the brayse is specifically saying b'Rishus Harabim atzma that only below 10 tefachim, that's where you're going to be chayev. That's what Rabbi Akiva says you're chayev. L'mayla masara loy mechayev, but above 10 tefachim, Rabbi Akiva will not say you're chayev. Shma mino bekluta kama shehuncha pligi. So we see in this brayse that the argument is b'Rishus Harabim atzma. They're arguing about the halacha of kluta kama shehuncha, whether when it's contained is it as if it rested in the Rishus Harabim. Shma mino. This is what the argument is about. They're not arguing about the halacha of whether you compare zayrik to maishit. Everybody would agree, even Rabbi Akiva, that you don't compare zayrik to maishit. But a pliga de Rabbi Lazar. This argues on what Rabbi Lazar said, because Rabbi Lazar said a much bigger chiddush. Rabbi Lazar said that actually the machlokes of Rabbi Akiva and the Chachamim is in both. They're arguing about both points. Rabbi Lazar said, Rabbi Akiva said, not only are you chayiv lamata biyud because of the svara of klutakim mishuhuncha, but you actually chayiv even lamayla miyud because we compare zaydik to maishit and you chayiv. Hi, the Tani Rishus Harabim Atzma, and this that it says in this brayse the lashon of Rishus Harabim Atzma, it's not because of Rabbi Akiva's opinion. It's not because Rabbi Akiva is mechayev only below 10 tefachim. Fakert lohidiyacha koichem de Rabbanon. It's coming to tell you how strongly the Rabbanon disagree with Rabbi Akiva when they pater, that they say you pater even below 10 tefachim. Okay, so they're arguing. In other words, according to Rabbi Lazar, the machlokes of Rabbi Akiva and the Rabbanon is on both points. They're arguing Saila Mata Masara in the point of Klutakim Mishahuncha, and they're arguing Saila Maila Masara in the point of whether you learn out Zayrik Mimaishet or not. Gemara continues and says, Upligi Rav Chilkiya Bar Tuvi. Rabbi Lazar is also arguing on what Rav Chilkiya Bar Tuvi said. Rav Chilkiya Bar Tuvi, he said, Toich Shloisha, if you threw it through the Rishus Harabim and it flew very close to the ground, within 3 tefachim to the ground, divrei akel chayiv. Everybody would agree you're chayiv because of the din of lavud. When it's so close to the ground, it's as if it landed on the ground. Lamay lamasara, if you threw it above 10 tefachim, divrei akel potter. Everybody would agree you're potter. And what's the reason? Because above 10, we don't compare zaydik to maishit. Megimel v'ad yud, in that space from 3 tefachim to 10 tefachim, here banal machlokes Rabbi Akiva v'Rabbanan. Only there will be the machlokes of Rabbi Akiva and the Rabbanan. They're only arguing about the concept of klutakim mishoncha, not about anything else. Tanya Namiyachi, we learned this also clearly in a brayse. B'toich gimel, if you threw it from the Rishus HaYachid to another Rishus HaYachid through the Rishus HaRabim within 3 tefachim of the Rishus HaRabim, divrei akel chayiv, everybody says you chayiv because it's loved. Lamayla miyod, if it's above 10 tefachim, einay ela mishum shvus. The only issue is shvus. It's an isra midrabanan. What's the isra midrabanan? Without an eruvi chatzeris, you're not allowed to carry from one Rishus HaYachid to another Rishus HaYachid. So there's a shvus. V'may rishuyus shalai, if the 2 Rishus HaYachids are both belonging to him, so then you don't need an eruvi chatzeris. So then mutter, then even midrabanan would be allowed. Migimel v'adasara, if he threw it and it was exactly between 3 and 10 tefachim, then there's the machlokes. Rabbi Akiva mechayev, v'chachamim paitrim. Rabbi Akiva says yechayev because of klutakim mishuhoncha, and the chachamim say yepater. The Gemara now analyzes one detail that it said in this brayse. Omamar, it said in this brayse, im hoyu rishuyus shaloi, if both of the rishus hayachids belong to him, mutter, then it's allowed to throw it through above 10 tefachim because there's no issue of iruv chatzeris. They both belong to him. So the Gemara, this L'chayre refutes a statement that Rav said Itmer, we learned the machlokes, Shnei batim b'shnei tzidei Rishus Harabim. If you have two houses that are on two sides of the Rishus Harabim, and they both belong to you, Rabbi Baravona Rav Aser. So he said in the name of Rav, Aser lizrik mizelezeh. You're not allowed to throw from one house to another through the Rishus Harabim, even though they both belong to you. Shmuel Amar, Shmuel says, Mutter lizrik mizelezeh. They both belong to you, and you're allowed to throw from one to another. So, according to Rav, it's Aser. And over here, clearly the Braise, it says Mutter. And for the Gemara, V'lav miyo kimne, haven't we not said about that machlokes, lahahi, in that case, kogoin the midli chad umitzi chad. It's two houses that you're throwing from one to another across the Rishus Harabim. One is higher and one is lower, or one is lower and one is higher. The zimnin nafel v'asuyi, v'asil asuyi, because you have to aim it right. It's not the same height from where you're throwing, and you have to aim it right to get it into that Rishus HaYachid, so you might not aim well. It's going to end up falling down in the Rishus HaYachid, and then you might go and pick it up from the Rishus HaYachid and bring it into that house. So you might come to do a Malacha D'Oraisa. So therefore Rav didn't want you to throw through a Rishus Harabim. Now Rashi explains the fact that it might fall down into the Rishus Harabim when you threw it is not a problem, because it's Ein Mechaven. You didn't intend to throw it to there, so you wouldn't be Chayiv D'Oraisa for that, so Rav wouldn't make a Gzeira for that reason. But the fact that he was afraid that you might go down, pick it up, and bring it into the other Rishus HaYachid, that he was afraid for, and therefore he said, don't throw across the Rishus Harabim if the other house is not the same height and it's a difficult aim to get it into the other Rishus HaYachid. So now the Gemara will return to the halacha of lavud that was mentioned in the Braise. What's the source of this concept that we have many times that anything below 3 tfachim is considered to be like lavud, as if it landed on the ground? So we use it over here regarding the hanocha and Rishus Harabim very often, that if it's within 3 tfachim, it's as if it landed. So you answered him, there's a logical reason for this. What's the svara? It's impossible to have an exactly flat ground of the Rishus Harabim. You can't have a tool where you're going to flatten the whole entire Rishus Harabim to be exactly straight. It's going to be up and down, up and down. So therefore, mitzad that, we consider that space that's close enough to the Rishus Harabim to be the Rishus Harabim itself. Fragt the Gemara, if so, Gimel Nami, why only less than 3 Tvachim? Even 3 Tvachim, you have protrusions that go higher than 3 Tvachim, so even 3 Tvachim should also be lavud. It's one question. Vesu, now the Gemara says, we find the concept of lavud in a completely different context where this svara doesn't make sense. The Mishnah that it says in Masechta Sukkah, Hamishal shol defanis mo maila lamata, if you're lowering down walls for a sukkah from above to below, and you don't bring it down all the way to the bottom, to the ground. If it's removed from the ground 3 tfachim, then psula. You have the opening on the bottom, 3 tfachim, it's possible. But if it's removed from the ground less than 3 tfachim, ksheira, it's kosher. And what's the reason for it? Lavud. So Rashi explains this concept that we said that you can't have a flat Rishus Harabim doesn't apply over here. Over here we're talking about a mechitza. You have to have a closing of a mechitza, and we're using lavud as if there's a closing of a mechitza. What's the pshat of lavud, that it's as if there's a closing of a mechitza? So the Gemara says over there's a different svara. You could also say a svara regarding a mechitza. What's the svara? Hasam haine time. Over there, the reason is mishum dahavela mechitza shagedoyim baikim ba. If there's an opening of 3 tfachim, so it's an opening large enough for a goat to pass through. So it's not a proper mechitza. But if there's no 3 tfachim, so it's considered as if it's closed off because nobody can go through there, or at least gedoyim can't go through there. That's another svara. Okay, but the Gemara doesn't accept this. Teinach lamata. That's a good svara if the opening of 3 tfachim is below. Lamaila ma'yikalameima. How about the same exact thing that also applies above? If you have the wall of your sukkah that on the bottom is totally closed, but at the top is open. Over there, it's the same halacha. If it's 3 tvachim, it's a problem. If it's less than 3 tvachim, it's okay. Over there, it's not an issue of the gedoyim passing through. So what's the shear of less than 3 tvachim? Ella, the Gemara concludes, kol pachas mishloisha, the concept of less than shloisha being kolava, that it's an extension, that it's one thing. Kolava dami hilchas gemira law. It's a halacha l'meisha misinai. That's the bottom line. Zakt Gemara Tana Rabbanan. We learned in a Braisa. So we had in our Mishnah the case of a person going from one Rosh Hashanah to another Rosh Hashanah through the Rosh Hashanah. Now the Gemara is going to discuss the opposite case, going from Rosh Hashanah to another Rosh Hashanah through Rosh Hashanah. Tana Rabbanan, Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah be'emtza. There was a Rosh Hashanah in middle of two Rosh Hashanahs, in middle of two Rosh Hashanahs. Rabbi Mechayev. So you threw from one Rosh Hashanah to another Rosh Hashanah. Again, you threw from one Rosh Hashanah to another Rosh Hashanah through Rosh Hashanah. The Rabbi says Yechayev. The Chachamim Paitrim. And Chachamim say Yepater. So Rav Shmuel Damri Tarvayu, Rav Shmuel both explained what's the pshat in Rabbi's opinion. What's going on over here? This is not like it was done in the Mishkan. This is not compared to Rabbi Akiva's opinion. So why was Rabbi Mechayev here? So Rav and Shmuel both explained Lechayev Rabbi Ela b'Rosh Hashanah Mekura. The only time Rabbi was Mechayev is when it's a Rosh Hashanah that has a roof over it. The Amrina, because there's a svara that we say Beisa Keman Demal Yadomi, a house that has a roof over it. It's as if it's filled with articles. It's as if it's filled, and whatever passes through it is as if it rested in that place. Similar concept to Klutik and Mishahuncha, but a bit different. When it passes through with a roof, it's as if it rested there. Passing through a Rosh Hashanah, going to another Rosh Hashanah, if there was no roof over the Rosh Hashanah, loy. We don't apply this halacha of Rabbi.
What's this? Sorry, what's the?
When you'll understand Klutik and Mishahuncha properly, then we'll talk about the concept of basic command malya. It's a a different time. Sagt the Gemara, Amrav Cham, Amrav Yudah, Mashmuel, Mechayev Rebbe Shtayin. Rebbe, when he said over here that Yechayev for throwing it from one Rosh Hashanah to another Rosh Hashanah through the Rosh Hashanah, Rebbe was actually saying that you're going to be chayev twice. Mechayev Rebbe Shtayin, Achas Mishum Meitzah, V'Achas Mishum Achnasa. It landed in the Rosh Hashanah because it's command malya, so it landed there. So one you brought it in, and one then you brought it back out. So you're chayev twice. So the Gemara is going to focus now on this concept that you should be chayev twice. So Yosef Rav Chana v'Kakashile, when Rav Chana heard this, so he had a question and said, L'meimra, the Mechayev Rebbe Atelda b'Mokim Av. Does that mean that Rebbe's opinion is that you chayev an Atelda when you do it together with an Av? So what did we have before in the Gemara that we learned yesterday? That usually we hold that you're not. The only one that held that you are was Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer holds that Yechayev Ateldi b'Mokim Av. Should we say that Rebbe also holds that Yechayev Ateldi b'Mokim Av? But Vatanya, we learned in a Braisa, Rebbe Yomer, Dvarim hadvarim, Eila hadvarim, the source of the Lamed Tes Malachas. So it says in the Torah, Dvarim, that's 2. Hadvarim, another Hey, that's 3. And then it says Eila is Gematria, 36. So Eila Lamed Tes Malachas. Together you have 39 Malachas, Shenemru l'Moshe b'Sinai, that was given from Moshe b'Sinai. So what do you learn out from this? So Rashi here explains, just like the Gemara keeps on repeating many times, that the Tana gives a number to say that you chayev on all 39, but not more than 39. The same thing over here, Rebbe is giving you this number to say that you chayev 39, but not more than 39 if you do them together. So you're not chayev on a toilde b'mokim and av. Mashenken over here, it seems like Rebbe is saying you are chayev on a toilde b'mokim and av if you do the haitzah and the hachnasa together. Amalei Rav Yosef, so Rav Yosef answered, Mar aha masnila. You learned this statement that you chayev for haitzah and achnasa together, so you learned this on what Rebbe said. The kashile, the Rebbe ad the Rebbe. And therefore you have over here a question, a contradiction in Rebbe's opinion. But Anan, we ad Rav Yehuda masninan. We learned this thing that you're going to be chayev on haitzah and achnasa together on a different case that the Gemara will now bring, that Rabbi Yehuda said. So therefore, we have no contradiction in Rebbe's opinion. Tanya, we learned in a different Braisa. It says as follows: a person is throwing something from Rishus HaYachid to the Rishus HaRabim. But then it didn't land in the Rishus HaRabim right over there where it came into the Rishus HaRabim. But it then went a length of 4 ames in the Rishus HaRabim itself. Rabbi Yehuda mechayev. Rabbi Yehuda says you're going to be chayev. V'chachamim paitrim. And chachamim say in such a case you'd be potter. So now what's the pshat on this machlokes? When chachamim said you potter, what were they saying? So Amar Rabbi Yehuda Mashmul. Rabbi Yehuda said in the name of Shmuel, mechayev hoye Rabbi Yehuda shtayim. Rabbi Yehuda over here meant to say that you chayev twice. Achas mishum meitzah, v'achas mishum havara. Once because you threw it from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaRabim, and once for the fact that it went 4 amas into Rishus HaRabim. The Yisal Kedaitoch, now what was his hechrech to say so? The Yisal Kedaitoch chode, if you're going to say that Rabbi Yehuda is saying that you only chayiv once, chodu de mechayiv, meklal, the Rabbanan patri legamri, are you going to say that according to the Rabbanan you're totally potter? How could that be? Ha'apik la Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaRabim. He carried from the Rishus HaYachid to the Rishus HaRabim. Why would the Chachamim say that he's totally potter? Yeah, he threw it. He threw it from the Rishus HaYachid to the Rishus HaRabim. So for sure, the Rabbanan should agree that he's chayiv at least once. So when we see here the machlokes of the Rabbanan and the Rabbi Yehuda, whether you chayiv or not, they must be arguing about whether you chayiv twice or only chayiv once. That was their machlokes. Okay, so this was the case where Rabbi Yehuda said that you're going to be chayiv twice. So Rabbi Yehuda is going to hold that you are chayiv for a toilde b'mokim av. You're chayiv for haitzah and for havaras dal damas b'rishus harabim together. But not Rabbi. Rabbi didn't necessarily hold that. Now, frekte Gemara, mimai, how do you know this is the pshat and this machlokes between Rabbi Yehuda and the Rabbanon that are arguing whether you chayiv a second time? Dil meloi lamei malach. Maybe I can still say to you, Rabbi Yehuda chadu mechayiv. Really, Rabbi Yehuda is saying that you only chayiv once. The Rabbanon patri legamri, and the Rabbanon say that you would be completely potter. Why would you be completely potter? V'heichi mishkachas. What would be that case? Kagain the Omar, if this person said, and he specifically had an intention, ad the nafkele reshus harabim tunuach, I'm throwing it and I want it to land right when it enters into the reshus harabim. So therefore, we always, whenever it comes to the malachas of Shabbos, we go according to the person's intention, because you only chai from malachas machshavas, what he intended to do. Right, for Lamashal, we had before in the Gemara, when you get a person that had a money belt in the front and it slipped to the back, or in the back, it slipped to the front. It's not the way he intended to do the malacha, so you're not chayiv. So we can say that the case over here is he had a certain intention with this malacha, that he wanted it to land as soon as it entered into the Rishus HaRabim, and therefore there's going to be the machlokes here. And what's the basis of the machlokes? The Baha Kamifligi. And they're arguing about the concept that we already brought before. Rabbi Yehuda Savad, Amrin and Klutik Mishahoncha. Rabbi Yehuda says, as soon as it enters into the Rishus HaRabim, it's contained in the Rishus HaRabim, it's as if it landed right there. So we consider it as if his machshava was fulfilled. V'Rabbanan Savri, and the Rabbanan's opinion is, we do not say Klutik Mishuncha, and we don't consider it as if his machshava was fulfilled, and therefore we can't be mechayiv him even once. We can't be mechayiv him at all, because he intended it to land right when it entered the Rishus HaRabim, and it landed 4 amas away. So he's not chayiv at all. That would be the machlokes. So if this is true, what would it come out? That according to Rabbi Yehuda, you only chayiv once, and you're not chayiv on a toilde b'mokim av. You're not chayiv for both haitzah and havara. So the Gemara says, Avol atoilde b'mokim av loy mechayiv Rabbi Yehuda. So according to what you're saying now, it would come out that according to Rabbi Yehuda, you're not going to be chayiv for atoilde b'mokim av. You only chayiv once. Loy sal kedaitach. No, that doesn't make sense. And the Gemara here will bring a brayse that seemingly says that according to Rabbi Yehuda, you are chayiv for atoilde b'mokim av. The Tanya, it says in the Brayse, Rabbi Yehuda Maisif. Rabbi Yehuda was Maisif to the Lamed Tes Malachas of the Mishnah. Af hashoivit v'hamedaktik. Shoivit and medaktik are two different things that are malachas that you do to straighten out the chassis and the erev. They had this tool that they would bang it and they would straighten out the two threads that are on the width and on the length. That he's considered that also to be a malacha, and he was Maisif Shoivit and medaktik that you chayev for them as well. So they responded to Rabbi Yehuda, the Chachamim responded to Rabbi Yehuda and said, Shavit Hareu B'chlal Meisach. Shavit, which is straightening out the threads that are in the length, that are on the loom, that are on the machine, that's part of Meisach. Medaktik, you're straightening out the ones that are on the width, that you're weaving with, Hareu B'chlal Eidig, that's part of weaving. So they're not separate malachas. So now the Gemara at this point understands that according to Rabbi Yehuda, Shavit and Medaktik are not Avos Malachas. They're not part of the Avos Malachas, but he held that Shavit and Medaktik, Shavit is a tilde of Meisach, and Medaktik is a tilde of Eirig, and the point that Rabbi Yehuda was trying to say is that you're going to be Chayiv for Shavit even if you do it together with Meisach, and you're chayiv from a daktik, even if you do it together with Eirik, because you're chayiv and atilda b'makom av. So my love, don't you think the pshat and what Rabbi Yehuda was saying over here is the avdinu l'tarvayu b'hadi adodi? What Rabbi Yehuda was saying is that if you do shoivit together with meisich and you do medaktik together with Eirik, that you would be chayiv. As Rashi says, at this point, the Gemara understands that's the meaning of the word meisif. What does it mean, meisif? Adding. Adding what? In other words, he did the av, and he added the toilda. And still he's going to be chayiv for the toilda together with the av. Ushma amina. If so, I see over here, mechayiv hoye Rabbi Yehuda toilda b'makom av. That Rabbi Yehuda says that you are chayiv for a toilda together with the av. So if so, we could go back to the previous braise that spoke about doing the haitzah and the havara, that according to Rabbi Yehuda, you chayiv twice. You chayiv the haitzah and the havara together. So the Gemara says, no, that's not the pshat in this braise when Rabbi Yehuda was meisif, shoivit and medaktik. Mimai, how do you know this is the pshat? Rabbi Yehuda was talking about a case where a person did shoivit separately, he did meisich separately. We're not talking about a case where he did both of them together. Rabbi Yehuda toilda b'makom av loy mechayev. Really, according to Rabbi Yehuda, if you do a toilda together with a av, you're not going to be chayiv twice. Ubaha kamifligi. Over here, Rabbi Yehuda was saying another chiddush. The machlokes is as follows: Rabbi Yehuda savar hani avis ninu. Rabbi Yehuda came and was machadish. There's another 2 avis. There's not 39 malachas. There's 41 avis malachas. Big chiddush. But this is Rabbi Yehuda's opinion that there's another 2 avis. Rabbanan savri and Rabbanan held hani toldis ninu. No, these are only toldis. They're very similar and they're branches of Mesach and Eirik. They're not separate avis. Teida, bring you a raya, and here the Gemara teaches the word meisif differently. The Ketani, the lashon of the Braise is Rabbi Yehuda meisif. Rabbi Yehuda added. What's the meaning of the word meisif? If the Braise is saying that shavit and medaktik are ovis, so then again. What's the meaning of the word meisif? Meisif avis. He added another 2 avis. Eli yamret toildis. But if you're going to say that according to Rabbi Yehuda they are only toildis, my meisif. What's the pshat on the word meisif? He didn't add another 2 avis. He was just saying toildis. Everything has toildis. What is he being meisif over here? Going back to the brisa that we had before about a person that threw it out and then it went 4 amis. So Rabbi and Rav Yosef both said, Lechayev Rabbi Yehuda ela achas. Rabbi Yehuda only said that you chayev once. You're not chayev twice, you're not chayev for a telda b'makom av. You only chayev once. Amal Ravina le Ravashi. Now Ravina goes back. Ravina said to Ravashi, Ulamai the solak adait and the make kara the mechayev hoye Rabbi Yehuda shtayim. The pshat that we had in the beginning, that Rabbi Yehuda said that you chayev twice. How could Rabbi Yehuda say you chayev twice? Again, going back to what we said before, you only chayev from malacha on Shabbos if the malacha ended up happening where you intended it to land. Where did this person intend this thing to land, according to Rabbi Yehuda here? He intended it to land right when it came out, and we say klutika mishahuncha there. So then that's one malacha. Did he intend it to land at the end of 4 amis? So that's the malacha. He didn't intend both l'chayra. So how would you b'chlal say that he would be chayev twice? If he wants it to land here, he doesn't want it to land there. If he wants it to land here, then he doesn't want it to land there. How would he be chayiv twice? So he answered, the hava mina was that he didn't have any specific intention. He was doing the malacha and he said to himself, wherever it lands in the Rishus Harabim, I'll be happy. So therefore, he intends it for here, yes. He intends it for there, yes. He's happy in both places and therefore he would be chayiv.
The question of Rabbi never gets answered.
The question of Rabbi in the beginning, the stira of Rabbi, where the Gemara's maskana was that Rabbi was not mechayev twice. That was the Gemara's maskana. It was Rabbi Yehuda that was mechayev twice, not Rabbi. So therefore, there's no stira because Rabbi is not mechayev at toil the b'makom av. Correct, and Rabbi Yehuda is also not mechayev twice. Correct. Yeah, that's the Gemara's maskana. It seems. One more little shtickle over here. Zok the Gemara. Pshite neskaven lizrik shmeine v'zorak arba. A person had an intention to throw something in the Rishus Harabim 8 amis, and it ended up going only 4 amis, which is the minimum amount to be chayev. But he intended to do more. So again, we only are mechayev a person if it landed where he intended it to go. So over here it landed less. But, says the Gemara, Hare Kosav Shem Mishimin. This is similar to a case where a person wanted to write the whole name Shimon, and he ended up writing Shem. Only two of those letters, Shin and Mem. So therefore, the halacha over there by cost of Shem Mishimin is that you're chayiv for writing those two letters, even though you intended to write the whole word. So the same thing over here, you intended to throw 8 and it landed by 4, you're going to be chayiv. However, if a person had a kavanah to throw it 4 amas, and he ended up throwing it 8 amas, mahu. What's going to be the din over here? It passes through 4 amas. To get to 8, it passes through 4 amas. So therefore, he was mitzi at that amount, or he's mavir at that amount. Where he wanted it to land, which is 4 amas, it didn't land there. It landed further away. So the Gemara says, "V'lav hained amalei Ravina l'Ravashi." Is this not what Ravina said to Ravashi? V'amalei ba'omer kol makim shetirtze tanuach. Ravashi said that the only time a person is going to be chayiv is if he did not have any specific intention. He was okay with it landing here, and he was okay with it landing it further. Only then could he be chayiv twice. But if you want it to land in one place and it ends up landing in another place, you're going to be potter. So interesting, Rashi and Tosfos both explain that the Gemara actually now is retracting the pshita that it said in the beginning. The Gemara now is saying whether you intended it to go to 8 amas and it went by 4, whether you intended it to go by 8 and it went back to 4, in both cases you're going to be potter. That's what we see from what Ravashi said. Only if it landed where you intended to throw it, then you're going to be chayiv. No. 1 second. It doesn't make a difference. It's the same thing. Frak the Gemara, now we brought before a source for this concept that if you wanted it to go 8 and it ended up going 4, you should be chayiv. Vede ka'amrit, you made a comparison at a cost of Shem Shimon. It's like a person that wanted to write the whole name Shimon and he wrote Shem. Midami, that's not a comparison. Hasam, kama de le cost of Shem le michtav le Shimon. If you don't write the 2 letters Shin and Mem, you're not going to get the rest of the word Shimon. But Mashenkin over here, but over here, if you don't throw it and it should land by 4, it can't go to 8. You throw it straight to land by 8 without ever landing by 4. So when you intended it to land by 8, you never wanted it to land by 4. When it ends up landing by 4, you didn't intend that. So therefore, like Rav Ashi said, if you did not intend it to land right over there, you won't be chayiv.